The different types of shock can be described through the horrific tale of the killer on the loose in the hippo's apartment building, isolating and killing maintenance men like the heart and the nerve. Hypovolemic shock, the hippo in a volume cup bathtub, occurs due to the loss of intravascular fluid. These patients have depleted volume through a variety of etiologies. The low volume of fluid in his bathtub, in which a killer throws a shocked typewriter to electrocute the hippo. Cardiogenic shock, the heart maintenance man, occurs when the heart is unable to keep up with the metabolic demand, and can be described as physiologic pump failure, the broken pump which lured him into the pump room, where he's about to be murdered. Obstructive shock can occur with a physical obstruction to blood flow, the killer obstructing blood flow in the pipes. With obstructive shock, decreased diastolic filling occurs through the mechanism of indirect pump failure, the indirect route broken pump. With distributive shock, the distributor cap on the pump, normal heart output occurs, but abnormal blood flow distribution occurs. This mechanism can be summarized by lost vascular tone, the loose blood vessels coming from the pump, which needed attention from the maintenance man. Neurogenic shock is a type of distributive shock, the nerve's maintenance guy, who was lured into this situation. Anaphylactic shock leads to fluid leaving the vasculature, the anvil axes which are about to murder the maintenance guy, along with his friend, the sepsis snake, who wants to take a bite, representing septic shock as a type of distributive shock. So let's summarize the types of shock. Hypovolemic shock occurs when you're volume depleted. Cardiogenic shock occurs from pump failure, while obstructive shock happens from indirect pump failure. Distributive shock leads to lost vascular tone, in cases like neurogenic, anaphylactic, and septic shocks.
For types of shock, imagine a couple of killers are loose in an apartment building. They throw a typewriter into a tub and shock one tenant. That's when the entire building loses power. The electrocuted tenant was a hippo in a volume cup, taking a bath. The fluid level was low, but there was still enough to carry a current. Everyone in the building starts complaining about the power outage and low fluid levels, so the heart maintenance guy goes down into the basement to see if there's a problem with the pump. Yep, there's your problem. He finds the pump broken by an axe. He switches the building over to the backup pump, and that was the last thing he ever did, because no one ever saw the heart again. The tenants had their fluid returned by the backup pump for only moments before it too failed. Someone or something caused an obstruction in the plumbing, and this indirectly caused the indirect backup pump to fail. And in turn, this caused all sorts of problems, as the building's distributor cap ran out of fluids to distribute. The building's blood vessels lost vascular tone and became all droopy and loose. This was discovered by the apartment's other maintenance guy, the nerve, who came down to the basement when the heart didn't return. And that was the second to last thing the nerve ever discovered. The last thing would be that anvil axe that busted through the door all like, "Here's Johnny!" followed by a hungry sepsis snake slithering up from the sewer.